Welcome to episode 4 of Craft Entries, the podcast about Craft CMS and web development. My name is Thomas Sausen, and apparently the Pixel and Tonic team doesn't know a break. I mean, on May 4, Craft 4 was released, on June 28, Craft 4.1 was released, and on July 26, Craft 4.2 was released. Craft CMS 4.1 brought accessibility, user interface, and developer experience improvements. Some alley changes, improved overall control panel accessibility, improved pagination UI accessibility, improved element index accessibility, improved dashboard accessibility, improved address management accessibility, improved metrics field accessibility, and then also improved mobile support, improved keyboard support for custom selects, and it's now possible to remove all selected elements from relational fields by pressing backspace or delete while one of them is focused. Asset indexes now have a location table attribute option, and selectize options can now specify searchable keywords that won't be visible in the UI. Selectize inputs will now include their options values as search keywords. User interface. It's now possible to sort entries by their section and type, and it's now possible to sort assets by their file kind. Condition builders can now include multiple rules with the same label as long as they are in different groups. Element index filters now only show condition rules for the custom fields that are used by the field layout in the selected source if a native source is selected. Element index filters now only show condition rules for custom fields used by field layouts creation for the target element type if no native source is selected. Asset indexes now have a location table attribute option. Well, that was quite some text to read, and with some different words for an not native English speaker. So, but the hard part is over. Now let's talk about developer experience. Field layouts can now have line break UI elements. This helps when fields are also placed next to each other. Then, if the display of a field is tied to a condition query, the following field would take the now vacated space instead. Sometimes that behavior makes no sense from a UX perspective. In such a case, the line break element now helps, forcing the following fields to stay on row 2, for example, and not advance further, even if there would be space on row 1. Yeah, I hope you get it. Since Craft 4, it is possible to offer elements as a collection via eager loading. Unfortunately, the syntax is a bit bulky if you want to write only one element, and again, I ignore all the brackets and so on. Set image equals to entry.image.collect.first. It's from the old version, the old way. You remember Craft 4 back in May. Craft 4.1 now adds .1 method to the collection, so you can just write set image equals to entry.image.1. Voila! Craft 4.2 brings redesigned notifications and conditions rules for metrics and money fields. Also, Craft has been translated into Ukraine. So, the user notifications in the control panel have been redesigned. They are now displayed at the bottom left of the browser window and have a clearer and more accessibly design. By default, notifications are displayed for 5 seconds. However, it's now possible to set how long they should be displayed. You can choose between 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and infinite. The notifications can be removed at any time via a button, text, and additional information, such as a link to the saved element, is displayed depending on the context. Yeah, conditional fields. It was strange the last weeks that neither the money field introduced in Craft 4 nor the important metrics field had the possibility for conditional display. And so, since Craft CMS 4.2 referencing money fields and metrics fields in conditions is possible, and in the condition builder accessibility has also been improved. So, a bit developer experience. Since Craft CMS 4, there was a problem that some templates did not work as desired if the length filter was used on element queries. For example, if entry.images pipe length, blah blah blah, and if the example shows a bad coding style, but it is used in practice. Perhaps Pixel and Tonic wanted to eliminate this notation and discontinued support. I guess it was with free something. With Craft CMS 4.2, however, element queries can once again be treated as arrays, and consequently the length filter can be used again, as in the example. Additionally, Craft 3.7.50 was released, and the corresponding warnings of obsolescence were removed. The Craft control panel has been fully translated into Ukrainian with versions 3.7.49 and 4.2. In addition, Pixel and Tonic supports organizations and initiatives that work for the people in Ukraine with free licenses for Craft Pro. Just fill out the contact form linked in the show notes and write details about the organization you want to support and how Craft could help. But that was still not all the news from the Craft cosmos. Ryan Island should be known to everyone in the Craft community. After all, he runs CraftQuest, the best online learning resource to learn craft. It's kind of Laracast just for Craft CMS, founded in 2018 and about a lifetime membership for $4.99 US. Why I gave Ryan so much advance praise had to do with the fact that I hold him in extremely high regard as a teacher. I've known him since 2008, 9 or 10, when we were both involved in the Expression Engine community. He ran eeinsider.com, one of the few news resources around Expression Engine, and also published training videos for the CMS. I bought those right away, so he played a big part in me, for me, learning Expression Engine. Around that time, he founded Mijingo, a platform to publish video courses on all web topics. And over all those years, I bought a hell of a lot of courses from Ryan. Unsurprisingly, I bought Learning Craft from him on Mijingo in April 2014, from the man who helped me understand Expression Engine with his course. I had to buy a Craft course, and it didn't stop at one course. Later, courses like Twig templates in Craft, Control Flow in Twig, or Flexible Twig templates in Craft were published. These courses and the talks from Craft Summit 2014 and 2015 helped me learn to love Twig. In 2014, I also had a few Expression Engine customers, and that's why I also bought Securing Expression Engine 2 and MySQL and Expression Engine from Mijingo. I even bought Building an Expression Engine add-on. I think the course was by Ben Croker from Puts Your Light On, and I was just interested in how you would code your add-ons, even if I'm not a PHP programmer. But Mijingo was not only about Craft or Expression Engine. Thanks to JavaScript task runners, Grunt and Gulp, I learned to appreciate Grunt and later switched to Gulp. I even copied some of Ryan's examples and used them in production. In 2015-16, Git up and running, Git under the hood, Git the next step. And the command line bundle gave me good insights into these technologies, which I now use daily. Yes, with Git, I also like to have Git Tower in use, but I currently do significantly more in terminal than I could have imagined 10 years ago. Back then, I even used editors like CSS Edit or Coda because they had excellent graphical user interfaces. But I also remember that Mijingo was working with Happycock, where they put together a great course that covered basically all areas of modern web development at the time. Mijingo was never my only call for tutorials, but it was often a source of ideas, and I enjoyed consuming the content. And that's why our CraftQuest lifetime membership was a no-brainer for me. And why did I tell you all this? Ryan took Mijingo offline in May after more than 12 years. The domain now redirects to craftquest.io. You have to realize that there has not been new content published on Mijingo since maybe 2018, but always directly to CraftQuest. And since all, or at least a large part of the Mijingo courses also found their new home on CraftQuest, no content is lost. I was rather a bit sentimental and nostalgic when I heard that Mijingo was going offline. Thanks, Ryan, for this platform that helped me during my professional career, and I hope CraftQuest will stay online for a long time and you just keep producing such helpful content. Hopefully, I can also welcome you as a podcast guest this year, because already with the next episode, I would like to welcome guests for the first time in the English version of the podcast. That should have been it for this week. If you want more Craft CMS news, follow me on Twitter at CraftEntries. Thank you for listening. Until next time, your Thomas.
Go.